We were like.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to June 1st, 2026, regular council meeting here at the town of the Paw. As always, we'd like to acknowledge that we're gathering again tonight on Treaty 5 territory, the ancestral lands of our good friends and neighbors, the Opaskwayak Cree Nation, as well as many other Indigenous people, and as well as the homeland of the Red River Métis. So with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Just a note, Councillor Forster and Councillor Allen have both sent regrets. Somebody should have a resolution to adopt the agenda.
Resolution number 2026-087, moved by Councillor Hopper, seconded by myself. Resolved that the agenda be amended with the geotab and Wigton Pool coming out of the committee as a whole and the AMN Northern June District resolution.
Yeah, and I think we had one other item that we wanted to add in camera, discussion in camera about the financial issues, some it's sort of tied in there. And then I wasn't sure, did we? Okay, well anyways, it must be on there because he has it. Okay, so everybody okay with that? So approve the agenda as amended, call the question, all in favor? That's 5 of us, 0 against, and carried. There you go. Resolutions for the minutes.
Resolution number 2026-088, moved by Councillor Hopper, seconded by myself. Resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of May 11 and special council meeting of May the 4th and the tax impact meeting of May 19, 2026 be hereby approved. All statutory declarations have been complied with.
Anybody find any errors that Bullen made? Didn't work too hard? No?
Trent's not here today.
Trent's not here, the editor? Okay, so we're good to go then, so.
Seems to be.
Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. None against, and carried. Okay, recognition period.
Let me start with our new community safety and wellbeing coordinator. I want the public to know that town of Deepa is focusing on the general well-being of this town. The safety is our priority, and that's why we just created a new position called Community Safety and Wellbeing. And her name is
Alexis Watts.
Perfect, so welcome Alexis, welcome to the community, and you might have to speak a little bit louder so that you can get seen, but I think most people know you. Maybe if you don't mind, Alexis, what's the first week look like? You've only been here for a couple of weeks. Have you seen, what's the community safety well-being plan that council has approved look like? Any specific,
Nothing like getting put on the spot, eh?
Oh, I came prepared.
yeah,
Absolutely. So first of all, I just want to say that I'm really grateful for this opportunity. Having worked within the mental health sector for the past 10 years, I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to work in more of a community and a governance lens. But over the past few weeks, I've really focused on building that strong foundation of understanding and connection across the systems and the partners that we currently have. So what that has included is kind of the early engagement with interagency discussions related to encampments and associated safety concerns within the community, as well as participated in wildfire and emergency management discussions focused on risk prevention and coordination throughout the community. So what I've also been doing is reconnecting with CSWB. It's going to get used to having to say that, but partners locally and beyond. So what that has looked like is there are some outlying communities, there's Swan River, Flin Flon, and Dauphin that are going to be implementing plans in the near future as well. So kind of building up some connection to be able to have that rapport with them and then see what's working for them in the future. And then also because we are starting before everyone, maybe be able to do a little bit of trailblazing and then be able to lean on each other in the future. And then I've also am in the early stages of re-engaging the steering committee. And then I'll be working on a redevelopment of the terms of reference. And then in terms of community or communication and awareness, I've begun developing some materials for display on safety office bulletin boards upstairs. And I do have plans to keep them updated on a monthly basis, and then as new initiatives come forward within the community. And then I would like to eventually be able to expand that to digital format and improve accessibility and community outreach. With Truth and Reconciliation, I have completed the Downey Wenjack Fund grant application, so that focuses on truth and reconciliation. So I proposed a Belonging Through Reconciliation initiative, and I secured a partnership with the Friendship Center to help support community learning and engagement around the 94 Calls to Action in 94 Days campaign. So what that looks like is it's gonna run through September 12th to 15th, December 15th, sorry, of this coming year. I've also completed a full review of all the data that was compiled through the CSWB collection by CCFCSC, sorry, to help inform planning and priorities moving forward. And I've also begun exploring additional funding opportunities, including a current proposal that I'm working on, developing called Beyond the Bell, which is going to focus on year-round supports for children and families beyond the school year.
Right.
So additionally, early work has also included completing emergency management organization courses. So that's what I've been working on as well this past week. So just strengthening my preparedness knowledge. And then I'm also connected with the Royal Canadian Legion regarding the upcoming D-Day Memorial Service on this Sunday. And I've established a partnership with CNIB to host a mobile pop-up on July 8th. So moving forward, my focus will continue on strengthening coordination across sectors, improving communication and accessibility of CSWB initiatives, supporting both proactive and preventative approaches within our community safety and well-being. So my goal is to ensure that our work is collaborative, practical, and responsive to both immediate community needs and then building that sustainability long-term. So I look forward to working with all of you.
That's perfect. No, thank you so much. No, it's great. Sounds like you've got a lot of work underway already, so.
How long have you been on the job?
2 weeks.
Remarkable. Good. Keep that kind of effort going and be very successful.
Thank you. I do come, from management with Pathwack Health Authority. So this, though it is different, I'm really, really excited about it.
No, that's good. No, we appreciate that, and it's good to see some of that stuff. There was a lot of work put into it, as you've seen, and so we want to really keep moving that, so perfect. So welcome to the team. Any other sort of, yes?
One, so kind of a big one. Cheryl Antonio, she in charge of 4-Hers, and they did the highway cleanup. Highway cleaning 283, and they've been doing it for 25 years.
Wow. That's the 4-H people?
Mhm.
25 years, that's a remarkable.
Yeah. So they're just doing it because they're just nice.
No, that's great, and it sort of ties into like that community cleanup committee. I know that we had that event happen a couple of weeks ago too. I would say, I don't know, guessing, Bola, there must have been 75 plus people out that day come down for hot dogs, and you know, in the 3 hours that were done, there was over 300 garbage bags with the garbage filled out. Our friends at Oscar's place swarmed downtown, and they picked up over 123 bags themselves. It's just in the downtown area, which is great. So, and I think now, I think that committee, we're meeting again on Friday at 9. And we're looking for sustainable practices now. So it's, you know, it can't just continue the one-offs. We've got to try to figure out programs that are gonna keep building that pride in our community. So thanks to everybody that was involved in that. Our staff did a great job that day as well. So we appreciate that. Any other cleanup or any other recognition? Let's get a couple more. I got to go to the Scott Bateman Middle School speech contest the other day. You know, and I won't go into all the details. I appreciate getting the invite. But I just wanted to recognize the teachers and the students that were there that day. Every student actually had written a speech, and they narrowed it down to to the top 9 sort of thing, and I know from what I hear, it was pretty tough. Myself and Superintendent Lane and Melanie, the superintendent of, or no, the school trustee board chair, were the judges, and I always leave those things feeling a little bit more confident that the future is well taken care of, so, that was great. And then the last thing I'll add is, the Canada Day Committee has been working hard to try to build that program, obviously for July 1st. Lots of great things planned. I'll take my hat off to the staff because it's mostly staff of the town of the Paw at that meeting. So we appreciate all of our staff, but I would encourage all of our community members, if you want to get involved, come down to the meeting, and 2:00 at the A&W on this Thursday again. We've got some great stuff, and we can always use fresh new ideas and a few more hands. Anything else? Do you have anything with the school stuff?
Yeah. Would like to, obviously, I would like to congratulate the track and field team on receiving the Zone 11 banner this year.
Well, I've seen that. Big cheer for them. Oh, that was good. Okay, anything else or not? Okay, moving along then, on citizen period, I actually have something on citizen period. I just want to sort of clarify a couple of things here. So just for, I hope there's people watching, but I want to clarify some of the misinformation that's been put out about our community. And it's quite disappointing, to be honest with you. There's been comments regarding Boston Pizza. They're struggling and they're not opening and all these types of things. And that the town is holding up their liquor license and BLTs. Just to be clear to everybody in the Minnesota that's maybe watching, the town has nothing to do with BLTs or liquor license. That's a provincial jurisdiction, and we don't actually involve in that. On top of that, we have always, as a CDC and as a community, we're open to help the business groups if they ever need any support. And they're not looking for support. We've touched bases with it multiple times. Our councils probably had discussions with those involved, and there's no real need for anything. So just for the community to understand out there, the town of the Paw is not holding anything up. That project is progressing as the pace that it's progressing at. There's no plans of it not opening. They have the same challenges with everybody else that would have projects. So let's try to correct that stuff online, and I know we should probably ignore it, but this last week, you know, we also got the giant tiger announcement. And unfortunately, it was an announcement that none of us at council or Community Development Corporation were aware of. And the thing is, once we heard about it that morning, we called their corporate office to get clarification on what was going on. And then the next morning, we actually had an actual conference call with the general manager of Canadian Retail Operations and their communication. And we heard, they explained to us the business decision, and it's a difficult business decision for them because keep in mind, giant tigers are not in the business of shutting down businesses. They're in the business of creating good retail space. And they told us that they have had significant financial and market constraints on that business for more than 5 years. And so this wasn't something that they just lightly took to heart and they emotionally are making decisions. They've actually decided that this is what they had to do for their overall business. And I also want to just point out is that, you know, when we reach out to companies, we ask them if there's something we can do to help them. And they said, no, there's nothing that we can do as a municipality. On top of that, there's some conversations going around that it was shut down because of theft. That is untrue. I asked the question directly and they said that the amount of theft, which is not good either way, is no different than many, many other communities that they're working in. There was nothing significant. It wasn't an outlier of anything else. So I know Councillor Hopper wants to mention something, but I'm just going to mention a few other things. So I guess what I would say to community members is your best source of information about facts is not social media. Social media has its place and it's a good tool, but when you are sharing information that's not really factual. It doesn't help our community. It doesn't help those businesses. It doesn't help the businesses that are trying to operate because it creates all sorts of noise and confusion around that. So my suggestion is that if you have a concern, or you see something within the community, your best source is to call the municipal office. The municipal office can connect you. The next thing is call your counselors. Your counselors will have if the information, or if they don't have the information, they know where to get the information and get it back to you. Because it's really unfair, I think, that, you know, some of the comments saying that the council or the administration is not doing anything. This administration, and I believe this council, is doing everything they could possibly do. You don't see the work that's been done up front. It's not all the great stuff. There's continuous advocating. We're always chasing additional funding. We're chasing businesses. We're chasing development. That's an ongoing work. And I would say that, you know, one of the things I used to say is like, the easiest job in the world is a fault finder. And so, but solutions actually take work. And and not every idea is perfect, but it doesn't mean people aren't trying to make things better. And finally, I'll just sort of wrap up is that, you know, it's understandable, the frustrations, it's understandable, the concerns people have. We have the same frustrations and concerns. And it's okay to be upset about them, because when we're upset about them, that means we actually care about the community. But what I would say is that instead of turning it into a negative, how can we shift that energy to make things better, find solutions? If somebody's looking to start a business in this community, come forward. This Community Development Corporation, the council, there's all sorts of supports and help for you. But it's not gonna get it through just a random comment of stuff that's not true. So I would just ask our community members, it's okay to be upset. You might not be happy with the decision that councils are making, and that's completely fine. But let's make sure that we're not resharing a bunch of untruths and that don't add any value. We need to have positive energy and not tear down our communities. So.
I think you covered everything, Mayor. Just, it's too bad social media doesn't have a fact checking ability.
Yeah.
And I don't get onto Facebook, but I happened to look at my wife's the other night, and she was talking about all the negativity that's on there, and the comments that council doesn't do anything. Council told Canadian Tire and Walmart they don't want them in town. And both the loss of business and why it was, everybody has an opinion. And everything I saw on there wasn't true. And my comments were, come to the town office. We have records, we have minutes of meetings, you can see what we're doing to increase business and help businesses when they're struggling. And it's too easy to point to one thing and say, well, it's the street people that's causing the problem. Yes, they're causing a major problem. That's not why businesses are closing and people are leaving town. Try not to be so negative, and if you want to know what's going on, come to council. And by all means, if you think you can do a better job, sign up for council in October and put your name in the hat instead of being a spectator with an opinion that may not always be correct.
Any other comments or questions? So, and again, and that's a good closing, Councillor Hopper, you know, like, we do have a municipal election coming up on October 23rd, and I would really encourage people to get involved. I mean, communities need good people that want to improve their communities, and if you want to know how council works or what the commitment level is, ask. We can share whatever information you need to do. So with that, moving along, bylaws, draft recreational bylaw. So that was just for information, I believe. We don't have any resolution there. So what, just for the community, so just so everybody knows, Manitoba Grow Fund, we've got $1.375 million last year, and that was to go through a recreational hub sort of area. So our council or our administration have identified sort of the arena lobby and the washrooms need to be upgraded, keeping in mind that there's been really no significant work done in that building in the last 20 years. The installation of some standardized sized arena glass, rubberizing the running track for those that use it, It's something that's been talked about for more than 20 years. Replacement of Centennial Park play structure, so that it's more accessible and inclusive for people to use. And then rubberizing around that play structure to reduce the maintenance. I know we've had it shut down many times because of dirt and rocks around there. The addition of an amphitheater, so it's not something fancy, we're not talking about what you would see in Sydney, Australia, but an area where we can actually have some, we can have a place where you can plug in a couple of speakers and somebody can have some, play some music or hold an event or a play or whatever. So when we look at all that, those work, that brings that project to, and again, this is an estimate right now of $3.8 million. And so the municipality needs to borrow $2.5 million to sort of make this happen. And what that would mean is that even though when we put forward a debenture on $2.5 million, you only spend what you need to spend. So it's, but you have to debenture what you think you're gonna need. So if you only needed two million, then that's what you would need. And then if you look at the sort of the details on that, it'd be about an annual payment of about $322,000, which is about a mill rate and a half. Increase in taxation. And if you want to know just what it feels like, a $200,000 home would, if we had a mill rate and a half, not that it would be, because there's other things you can do. Would, if we, but everything was the same and we added a mill rate and a half, it would be about $135 a year for 10 years on a $200,000 home. But keep in mind, those are just for you to understand what the impact is. Any other questions with any of that stuff? Okay. So again, it's just for information. Council has looked at it. You know, we believe that this is what we need to do, and we'll bring it forward. It has to follow the regular process. We would have to have public hearings and all that sort of good stuff that comes along with it. So there's another opportunity if somebody wants to talk about it. Okay, airport mural resolution 931.
Resolution number 2026-089, moved by Councillor Hopper, second by myself. Resolve the council approve the installation of murals at 2 locations within the air terminal building at a total cost not to exceed $17,000. And further, this project be funded from the Airport Reserve Fund.
So something that council has been talking about for quite some time, and also our last meeting, we asked to see some pictures, what sort of the draft would look like. Both are included. I think it would be a great addition, spruce up our building. So any further questions? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. And as mentioned, there's significant funds in the airport reserve to cover that based on last year's revenues. Electric ice auger resolution 932.
Resolution number 2026-090, moved by Councillor Atkinson and seconded by Councillor Hopper. Resolved that council approve the purchase of the new Edgar, the Olympia version, at a cost of $9,178 plus taxes, and that funding for this project be allocated from the Arena Reserve Fund.
Again, talked about last meeting. Councillor Hopper.
We've struck on Lindsay, who said I saw her, it's a nice edger.
Edger. Ice edger.
You said auger, you said auger.
I said auger?
You said
Oh,
auger.
auger, this one.
You copied it how you said it.
Yeah, okay, I apologize. Well, Liz, you know, I'm sorry if I threw anybody off tonight on that. Appreciate you correcting me, give her the record.
Just paying attention.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And just for the record, you did say it the first time it was ever brought up too, a couple meetings ago.
Okay.
Just to keep.
New Edger, Olympia version, talked about before for $9,000. I'll call the question, all in favor, opposed, carried. You didn't even help me out here.
I just copied how you were saying it.
Yeah, but you said it right. Okay, where are we at? Posting the June 26 AMM, June district meetings, Northern District meetings in the fall resolution.
Resolution number 2026-091, moved by Councillor Atkinson and seconded by Councillor Hopper. Resolved that council approve Town of the Paw to host the 2026 AMM Northern District meeting on June 19th, 2026. And further that council authorize the Town of the Paw to fund all expenses associated with hosting this meeting.
Yeah, June District, talked about. All the question, all in favor? Opposed, seeing none, carried. Community cleanup events. Resolution 934.
Resolution number 2026-092, moved by Councillor Atkinson and seconded by Councillor Hopper. Resolved that council approve the allocation of $2,500 for the 2026 community cleanup event in the Paw.
So again, that's already been done. There's been a lot of donations. So what we would said is we will keep that money in a reserve. So if we can keep a community cleanup thing going, we'll use those additional funds at that time. Great, community support from the business, community. So call the question, all in favor? Opposed, seeing none, carried. Okay, Northern Lobby Days.
Resolution number 2026-093, moved by Councillor Manage, second by Councillor Commodore. Resolved that council approve the mayor, deputy mayor, and the CAO to attend Northern Lobby Day in Winnipeg.
So as mentioned a few weeks back, what we're attempting to do is have a Northern Lobby Day. So myself, community of Flin Flon, community of Thompson are going to go with their CAOs and deputy mayors. We're going to, we have a list of ministers we're supposed to meet. It was supposed to be already scheduled for last week or the week before. But due to some scheduling constraints, they couldn't make it. Looks like we're going sometime June 23rd or 24th or something. So this is just to cover the expenses. Okay, call a question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. I think this will be a good, should be something we'll do every couple times a year. Okay, just gotta find out where I am there, Counselor.
I'm going too far now.
Just one sec. I have too many of the things open. Payroll and accounts.
Resolution number 2026-094, moved by Councillor Manage, second by Councillor Commodore. Resolved that council authorize the following accounts. Pay period number 10 and 11 in the amount of $307,660,175. General checks number 33383 to 33409 in the amount of $41,676.33. EFTs in the amount of $358,769.99.
Any questions of any checks? Councillor Hopper?
Just a question on procedure. Obviously the checks haven't been issued yet. The transfers, have they already been sent or are we waiting for our approval before we send them?
We need to get clarification on that.
Bishop, but that's always supposed to wait for the approval before we send
They
it.
should be,
That's the
so
normal process.
that's normal. Just check to see if that's the way it was. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Okay, call the question, all in favor? Opposed, none, carried, yeah, so that will wait for that the next meeting. So moving into personnel,
We have
committee.
2 minutes.
Oh, yes, right. I don't know what the cool one is.
One over there as well.
Okay, so let's,
Yeah, you've got 94.
I've got 96, 97, and 98.
okay, so what do you have there?
I have 95.
Okay, so I don't have any numbers on the ones that I have, I just brought them with me, so just read the title there, Counselor. And then, yeah, whoever wants.
Okay, I'll go 95. Resolution number 2026-095. Resolution title is Amendments to the Garage Keepers Act and Municipal Authority for Abandoned Vehicles.
Yeah, so just some background on this, So this was moved by Councillor Mann, second by Councillor Commodore. Just some background on this, we have June district meetings coming up, and how the process works is we have to give formal resolutions at June districts to get these on AMM's list to talk about, to determine what class they are, whether they're full, regional, local, or provincial. So we're asking for a couple of resolutions to be added, which we'll be going through. This first one, the Garage Keepers Act, the Municipal Authority. What we understand is the municipalities don't have any authority to be able to charge storage fees, be able to dispose of vehicles after certain periods of time. And what we're asking for is the Municipal Act / Garage Keepers Act to be amended to allow municipalities across Manitoba the authority, so that we don't end up into a position like we are today, where we have vehicles in our yard that are 10+ years old and we can't do anything with them. Okay, so call the question on that. All in favor? Opposed? So 5. I'm just gonna write on here 0, carried. And signed. Okay. Next one.
Resolution number 2026-096, resolution title authority for derelict and vacant commercial property taxation fees.
Yeah, so this is really, again, another, when we put through these resolutions, they're to get them as, again, for discussion at the municipal level. What we're trying to do is provide, mechanisms for municipalities to be able to impose other fees and tie it into, those buildings, so. So when we pass these, just so people that are watching, when we're passing these resolutions, we're passing them to go to AMM as a resolution to be discussed. It doesn't mean that it's a pass of this council. We're just approving it at this council. So call the question, all in favor? Opposed, none, carried. I should date this, so June 1. Okay, next one.
Resolution number 2026-097, resolution title municipal board hearing support tools and training for municipalities.
So again, based on our discussion at AMM meetings, when we look at the municipal board hearing that we got put in front of us, it was very stressful, and there was a lot of work done by the administration to support that process, and also a lot of unknowns. So what we're asking for, we brought this up in our meetings in Winnipeg, is that we're looking for AMM to lobby the government to be able to provide training and templates and packages for municipalities to be able to navigate that process without having to hire lawyers. Because the suggestion to have to hire lawyers is really not appropriate or not good, especially with the funds that are not always available. So call the question, all in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, there should be one more.
Resolution number 2026-098, resolution title is retention of unspent school division funds within local school divisions.
Yeah, so again, this is something that's unusual in our area, but we have challenges with regards to, the school division has a hard time sometimes hiring all the staff that they need, and they may be using uncertified teachers, which then leaves a surplus in their funds. Our understanding, which may not be 100% correct, but it is our understanding today, is that those funds are returned to the provincial government, drops into provincial coffers. The municipality actually pays portion of the school taxes. Everybody pays that portion on their taxation. And what we're asking for is that the school portion of the tax remain in a reserve for the schools to use against other sort of taxes or other expenses such as recreation, because we live in a lot of different extracurricular activities, those type of things, and then not impact our next year's allocation for funding. So more of their discretion, because our ratepayers paid the bill, more or less. That's what we believe anyways. Call the question, all in favor? Opposed, carried. Okay, thank you for that. We'll get that sent into, BOA. We'll have to send that to that resolution, email.
That's the same.
We'll have to do that today, though.
Let's do first.
Yeah. The geotabs now or this one? Which in the building is the geotabs?
Resolution number 2026-100, moved by Councillor Atkinson and seconded by Councillor Hopper. Resolved that council approve the procurement of geotab devices and subscription plan from Sirius Technologies for an amount not exceeding $20,000, including taxes. The funds for this project will come from operating capital.
Perfect. I have one question. So I think this is a good tool for our mechanics and our staff. One question I was gonna have is, are we including the fire department trucks? And fire truck, I'm asking you both, and the CSO vehicles in this geotab program? Wouldn't we want to do
That
that?
should be on all town vehicles.
Yeah.
All town equipment.
That's what I would think.
What about the Tricom as well,
Tricom's not town
separate?
equipment, yeah. So I think that I would like to see it on all vehicles that the town owns. If they're applicable, like maybe some of these things you can't plug into, like there might be something special of a fire truck that you can't plug into them. Or some sort of other equipment, but all equipment should have it on there. Do you guys agree?
Oh, yeah. I would assume that's what it was, all equipment.
There was no.
I think there was some confusion over because Sam was presenting it as being a public works and maintenance thing, but I do agree they should be on all the vehicles.
Okay, so that's what we'll take as a direction that we'll.
Or maybe not the fire department for all of them, because sometimes their tabs are gonna show speeding, they're gonna show false.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to be aware of those.
Yeah. Oh, and then again, that's not any reason for it. Okay, so call the question, all in favor? Opposed, seeing none, carried. Okay, Winton Pool.
Resolution number 2026-099. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Hopper, whereas upgrades to the town's swimming pool facility are required. Now therefore be it resolved, the council approve the upgrades to a maximum of $150,000 funded on a 50-50 basis between the Building Sustainable Communities Fund and Town Reserve funds.
Could we ask Jomar and whoever's here from Recreation, can you guys ask them, I'm in the room? One of you guys? So it would be easier to have the discussion on the winter pool with you guys sitting in the room.
Absolutely.
So I see from the request of $150,000 to be split between the Building Sustainable Communities Fund and the town reserves. It says the staircase to the pool deck, anti-slip flooring from the pool deck to the change rooms, change room flooring upgrade, pool deck bathroom upgrade, and repairs to this existing dehumidifier. I have like sort of two questions. The first question is, with this work that's being done, is there a disruption of the use of the facilities?
Our goal was to plan the majority of the work during the upcoming shutdown. If there's something that goes beyond that, then we kind of bring that forward as an announcement, but our goal and our hope was to time it for the summer shutdown to have these service disruption.
Yeah, and that's what I would hope, because that's, the last thing we want to do is have the pool shut down for another month in the summertime, because we're putting in new flooring, so however that works. And then the second question I have, and I know Sam, you've talked about it a bit, is what's the story that we can do on that with Delia's Drive? Tell the community.
Yeah, so we reached out to BSC, made the request to see if they would be willing to discuss the repair of Medelius Drive and the parking lot repaving as part of the BSC grant. would go a long way to help us spend the grant. We know this is something that the community has been pushing for and would like to see completed. The community doesn't want to see us sort of fighting over whose responsibility or whose money. That's up to us to sort of discuss and figure out. They just want to see a solution. So BSC sort of politely said that the Wheelius Drive portion would be a challenge, like would be sort of out of question. However, the parking lot, there could be potentially a case made for the upgrade of the parking lot, repair of the parking lot as part of the grant. However, they'd like to see us exhaust any other upgrade options at the pool before we do that. So we've decided to kind of meet with some of the user groups of the pool to kind of get some feedback from them. So we'll probably meet with them either, I think it's next week, we're gonna meet with them and then we'll sort of discuss some of their concerns and challenges.
Sam, could you remind us how much that grant was for?
The total grant from BSC was for $300,000. And the town made a commitment of 50% matching funds of $300,000 as well. So we have a total of $600,000.
And those funds are already allocated, right?
Not the totality of it. We're working towards allocating as much of it as we can. The repairs continue to move in the right direction. The dehumidifier, which was sort of the beginning of this, but there's other upgrades the pool could utilize as well.
Is there any way we could get a conversation going with KSD on a cost sharing, as Councillor Hopper has mentioned, of Wheelius Drive, where I know they're not flush with cash to be able to do those things, but where we could maybe make some sort of payment arrangement such as the money we pay monthly for the lease of the building or as part of the swimming pool, change room area, those type of things. Could you bring us something back in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, no, we can definitely reach out to our counterparts at KSD and start that conversation for sure, yeah.
When you measure the parking lot, use the same device you use for the turf marker.
Yeah, get Joe Barnum here.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll take that.
I'm on the dummy end of the tape. I thought I made that clear.
I'm pretty sure I was clear at that council meeting, that was me.
That's good. It's good. It's fun.
Made one mistake.
Yeah.
So it's good. No, we could definitely reach out to KST and start that process. I think there's probably some room we can work together there.
You know, I did see, I think, Joe Marmon had sent me, or I might have been copied, I did see sort of the list of ideas coming from the swim clubs and stuff. I think there's some great ideas there to sort of upgrade and update our, you know, I see when I go watch the swimming, see the lifeguards climbing in and out of that lifeguard stand there. I'm not sure how that even passes health and safety standards.
Keeps them nimble, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say. Any other questions with regards to the pool stuff, folks?
I'm just serious about the size of the parking lot. In my mind, the parking lot should be where the sidewalk is up against the NBCI, straight across where the sidewalk comes out or.
That's
about
definitely-
8 feet.
Yeah.
Anything south of that is parking lot. And that's not really a road there, that's a parking lot.
Yeah, we agree. There's
Shorten up Wheelius Drive, basically.
there's some ways we can maybe angle that a bit, yeah.
Well, I think it's, you know, I think it goes back to like the good work you guys did on the wellness center, you know. We've had years and years and years where a project seems to be not finished. And this is sort of, how do we finish that? So it's done once and for all, and we're not spending money year after year after year, dragging in gravel, dragging in and listening to complaints and having your guys' times tied up and stuff. So if there's a way we can do that, I think council's interested in trying to make it plan.
We did make it into the paving program just to get a quote for
Yeah.
it with our program, just to see what the numbers come back. So that we would be ready to move forward if that was the wish of council. So we'll have some figures for that as well, just to be ready to.
Oh, that sounds good. Any other questions?
Have you used the rake on that?
We've been right now, the focus has been on just the back lanes around town, the back road, and so far so good. But it was our first sort of pass. We had some gravel, some positive feedback and some maybe some needs of improvement still. So yeah, working away. The guys are doing a great job.
Any other questions with that? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Before you leave, just to jump back a second, and as you might know, so the Geotap program, we just approved that. Were you including all town vehicles, like fire department, CSO vehicles, draft tons, all that, were all included?
I was listening, kind of backstage. I had the same sort of concern with the speed of the vehicles, the nature of the safety vehicles. I wasn't sure if it would be appropriate to include them.
I think it's appropriate, I mean, in reality, they're not allowed to be.
For maintenance purposes, that's
Yeah.
the whole project really.
We're definitely open. It wouldn't add that many additional if that's
Yeah.
you guys would like to see from
Yeah,
the
we'd
direction.
like to see
You can, I'll talk with the managers of those departments and we'll get that sorted out. It wouldn't take much to add more to it.
What's the number of the stations?
Eh?
What the number is, the status?
Yeah.
20,000.
He said up to, so it sounded like he had some fluff there
Yeah.
already. Okay, so that's that. Let's get back to monthly reports, monthly management report. Any comments, questions around that? I was going to ask Counselor, our fire chief, the one course there, fire chief, 1031, who does that course?
The deputy.
Oh, okay, that's what the deputy, like Jets Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. And then how many guys or fire students like guys, how many firefighters do you have trained right now at level 1 or and at level 2?
Level 2, there's 2 people, level 1, there's 8.
Okay,
You have 4 guys going down for testing, you know.
Okay. okay, perfect. Oh, that's good. Any other on that report there? You've seen on the lot more MVAs this year than. Oh, that's what I was gonna, what's a hydro incident?
Anything with the hydro line,
Okay,
transformer, power line down.
that was up to, Any other questions with the manager? Any questions with the CEO's report? Seeing none. Community safety report, any questions with that?
No.
I have one, two. Littering. What does that mean? Like when you say you have 8 littering reports, is that, do we give tickets over that?
No, there's no ticket for littering. Just basically you go up as.
I looked at them.
That's okay. Stay there, stay there.
For the loading, it's just basically what we do is, go up to them, ask them, okay, you can't be around this area, it's private property, you gotta be with a long time,
Littering?
littering.
Yeah. There's a littering, that's what infraction, I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what we did with littering, like,
Is it a possibly supposed to say loitering instead of littering?
Yeah,
well,
Yeah.
anyway, even with the littering, if somebody, if we catch somebody, we actually force them to clean it up. And there's no, ticket for that at the present.
Should be.
There is one. We couldn't find them. We could find them though.
But yes,
By the bylaw, we can't find them. It'd be no different than a disposable, like people that drive down Centennial Drive and dispose of garbage. As long as you can identify who it is. I mean, obviously, if you can't get blood from a stone, but there is a bylaw that states that we can find offenders for littering.
what is that, Buzz? Do you know what that bylaw is? I'm just curious, that's all.
I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly.
Can you send it to us,
Yeah,
just so we know what it is?
sure, yeah.
And then. Yeah. Any other questions, Dr. Hopper?
Just, I think I asked a couple of questions last council meeting.
Yes.
Remember what they were? I can't.
Yeah. Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C.
No, it was I do believe on the,
Part of it was the ticketing on vehicles.
ticketing vehicles, we still continue to do the ticketing vehicles. And in our report here, as you see, we do, say, parking tickets. Like a 3 or 9 for 2 hour, 15-minute parking,
The fines have been paid.
deer.
No.
let's hold on a second. Paid tickets was altogether was 3, and unpaid tickets were 6.
So if they don't pay, what sort of recourse, what are we doing?
That's a bigger one, for those people that have not paid their tickets. So, we've not been able to get the money back, especially not only and the parking as well. So when I traveled to council, I had a meeting with Essie. So he gave us a link where the company they are using now, they just changed their route. So I shared that with Laura follow up, and Laura's waiting for a response from them.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that in the last year, like a collection agency. Right now, we're not getting anything.
Yes.
Send it to a collection agency, they can harm these people, and if we get 50% of it or 25%, at least we'll get the message.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's gonna bring up, with the warmer weather out there, we seem to have more and more people in the downtown area
Yes,
drunk, rowdy, fights. I see, fights, in front of the,
Royal Bank.
Royal Bank police attendant. I left, the other day and I didn't even get at people. Walk out in front of you in the middle of the street, someone's gonna get hit and the driver's gonna get blamed. They walk out and they pretend they don't see you. Jaywalking.
Yeah.
No offense. You stop the person, that person's intoxicated, they should be in town cells. And anybody you find, any of these people that are out in the street, they're intoxicated, they should be arrested for public intoxication and put in the local detachment. And there's guards there, 24 hours a day. And that's something very visible and will be visible. But I keep saying, if we keep doing that to these people that are doing the offenders, pretty soon, we're not gonna do that particular thing, or they're gonna do it somewhere else, out of the downtown area.
Yes.
Well, and I noticed one of your stats, you're moving people along. That's like, saying get cats to climb a tree or something, because it's not gonna, it doesn't do anything. Moving along, it's the downtown, the quarter is fairly small, so they're just mingling them. I can't think of a place where there isn't somebody roofed up, having a drink, liquor store, they're selling to people that are obviously, which is not intoxicated, they have that something, but a percentage of the time, the people are buying it, not necessarily for themselves, they're buying it for something else in the band. Without ranting on too much, I would just like to see more of these people intoxicated, doing things that are contrary to any bylaw, whether it's loitering, weathering, anything bylaw we have. Arrest them and put them in jail, and they don't have to pay the fine, and do it, pay the fine, spend the night in jail. And if the same person keep doing it, hopefully they get the message, because right now, someone is gonna get run over. Because there's a lot of elderly people in town that are driving, maybe not paying attention, probably drivers, and someone's gonna get hit. You know, it's unfortunate that somebody that just thinks that they can walk out around the vehicle and nothing's gonna happen. We've been lucky, that's good, that no one's been injured, but it's gonna happen. And all it is somebody not watching. So anyway, that's my rant for tonight. Then you're gonna get the same thing in 2 weeks, so we keep an eye on downtown. I'll try and I'll remember what I asked you.
I had my hand up first. Sorry, it was a good segue from the first one, but I've got to back up a little bit. So we brought together earlier tonight a resolution about the Garage Keepers Act and also our inability to collect on parking fines. I know you and I have talked directly, as well as I've brought it up to council in the past. Have we had any information on putting the boot on the vehicle? Because not only will that ensure collection, but that identifies who they are. If it things have to go to collections, right? So it'd be nice to see boots being applied to chronics. Like I said, I don't expect the little old lady that made a mistake, but we have some chronic people, especially in the downtown core. They start getting a boot applied, it's gonna change behaviors and it's gonna change behaviors for the entire street. So again, if council would agree to that, I would like to see, again, pricing on the boots.
Yeah.
Last time we looked, they were about $250 each. Where they are now, who knows, they could be double that.
Just a question, I know it's a good, I completely agree, but how many tickets do we hand out in the down, like, where is the hot spot that we hand out tickets to?
Downtown, we give tickets, but it's mostly in Cook Avenue behind the hospital, that's where most of them. They continue to park for more than 2 hours in the back there.
And I thought, Sam, that one time there was supposed to go up a sign, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that if you parked here, you were gonna be towed.
Like along the hospital sort of curve there.
And then somebody was gonna go in and talk to them and say, don't park there.
Yeah, no, we put the no parking on the back of yeah, that's all no parking now and a lot.
They still don't park there then.
Not from what I've seen, we haven't heard any complaints from a couple of the neighbors that I know of again, but I'm not as intimately involved as previously, so I could.
So where are you?
The 100 block of Cook Avenue is 2 hour parking.
Oh, okay.
So primary
Yeah,
house
yeah.
and that stretch.
Okay. Okay, I misunderstood there. So do we have the authority to do what Councilor Manage said?
I'll put it in like a issue sheet, put it forward and get it approved with you guys that that's it.
I'd just like to see the costs.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know the frustration you're having right now, you're issuing tickets and it's like, what's the point? But again, we can't stop just because we're not getting the reception well. Again, years ago, MPI used to work with us very well to give us that information so we could pursue it, because again, all you have is a license number,
Yes.
right? That's not gonna identify anything unless you sit there and watch them. Then you'll get accused of stalking. Another way of being able to collect who it is,
Yes.
to ensure payment, to change the behaviors.
Yeah.
And again, it shouldn't be about payment, but we need to change the behavior. A boot on a few vehicles, I think will change behaviors pretty quick.
I can, like I said, do an issue sheet with the information there.
And if there's trailers parked around, more trailers.
Any trailers that are on the road that are not connected to a vehicle, they're supposed to be automatically towed. But in the last few weeks, what happened was is that they were getting ready to go to their campsites and stuff like that, and they didn't, I guess, on that May 24th, the campsites didn't open, so we're gonna give them a little bit of leeway there, but
I'm not necessarily talking about a camper trail, that's a little different. I'm talking about the.
Fisher Avenue.
Offense there, but just a dump trailer that, we decided to park on Edwards Avenue. Or it gets moved over to Second Street, or it gets moved over to Fisher, and then it gets moved back. But this is after they notice it more in the winter time, and the plow truck has to go around them all the time. And there's a blue 1-ton truck that seems to be parking all over different areas. So, better order more than one.
Yeah, we get some pricing on it.
Yeah, I'd like to see this.
The
Yeah,
violence
I'd like
is
to
to
see
see whether these are.
That's a check for the.
Because if there's no consequences to violating a bylaw, as people are listening.
And yeah, to further add to that, you mentioned trailers. There was a trailer parked on Fisher Avenue for over a week. When our bylaw clearly states, even if you gave permission, it's still a 2 hour parking zone. So, I mean, we do have the ability, the authority having jurisdiction, which would be San Juan Rear, could possibly give a permit if someone had to do a renovation or whatever and say, we are aware of it and we're giving you special permission. This is what we used to do 10 years ago. But again, it seems like we're just giving up with bylaw enforcement. And those little things go a long way. And I don't mean you are giving up on, but we have multiple things going on. I said the trailer park there, which was beyond length that's legally allowed to park on the street in the first place, and it's there for a week at a time. And then the sidewalk's blocked off, which is also illegal by our bylaw, and isn't being enforced, again, not by you. It's just, we send the message that, people kind of do what they want, and we need to change that behavior. Because the people that are being picked on are the ones that are actually doing right and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And everyone else just seems to get away with it, so we need to be a little more on top, like I said, with traffic bylaw. And our, bylaw, like I say, if you're doing a renovation, understandable, but there's no reason why. Public Works can't give out a permit to say, we are closing off this portion of the sidewalk, as the bylaw says, and we're giving permission for that trailer. Again, that wouldn't be something you would be aware of, but it's something that we can work in conjunction with, just to send the message that we are trying to do our best to look after the businesses downtown, what are left.
Councilor Comer?
Few things. Thank you, Councillor Hopper, for putting in your common sense comments. It was about a couple of months ago, I had a gentleman run in front of the vehicle in the back alley, and it was scary. Multiple things, the parking on the streets, it really hurts businesses. I have to say, it does hurt myself, and I have talked to other businesses. But if there's no consequences, nothing changes. So when you have somebody parked in front of a certain business, not just mine, all day long, and it's the same vehicles, day in, day out for years, it's very frustrating. Our downtown should be open to all people and all customers. We count on them.
How much time, does your crew spend in the downtown area?
Around an 8-hour shift, I'd say a good 5 hours, mostly to patrolling the back, alleys and the front areas and stuff like that.
And that was
Yeah, we do go over to town to do certain things with certain bylaws, other bylaws. So,
And that segued to my question was foot patrols. Have your crew started foot patrols downtown?
we did one, not even a half day, but we started and then we got kind of pulled away from other stuff. So again, yes, we're trying to get at least once or twice a week doing foot patrols.
So is there a specific time of day that you're hoping that they can happen?
More the heavy times in between, I'd say 11 o'clock to 2, 3 settles down then again.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Just, we mentioned before, you've talked to different businesses about, say they've got a garbage stand in the back and it should be better secured. Front of the building, areas where people are congregating or sitting on private property.
Yes.
The one that comes to mind is, West Oak.
Yes,
The
that's a house.
window at the front of the West Oak. Well, they could fix that quite easy so that people can't sit with us.
And we did have a talk to the rest of the.
And I'm sure we could be innovative as well, where you help people with signs that the CDC does. I'm sure if there's a program that the CDC could come up with for helping businesses to deter loitering areas, that's something that they could apply for and help with financial thing.
We also, in contact with the World Bank, where we asked them to turn the water aside and turn off the plug, because that's where we're getting water most of the time, and that's where we're plugged in their cell phones.
Yes.
Very rarely seen by doing this happen because it was turned on.
Any other questions? Okay, no, thanks for that. I'm gonna have to step back a couple of things because I say I jumped over committees and all that sort of stuff got thrown off. Got my little cheat sheet here. Museum board, Councillor Commodore.
Well, I have a couple of things here. I have a little poster here, which David makes these from our San Juan Museum.
Okay.
He's put quite a few steps in, and he's fostering every window possible. So he's been getting good advertising on. So this medical, I'm going to say it. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Okay, thank you. It's metal artistry by Dan Jones, and it's going to be running from June 4th to August 28th. His work is, I'm going to say, astounding. There's a picture here. I'm sure people have seen him at trade shows, but he's putting on a show there, and we have lots of time to see that. So you got June, July, and right to the end of August 28th. There's been invitations sent out, invitation only for opening reception, June 4th, 7 p.m. Cookies will be served.
Cookies? Oh, I'm in.
Cookies. And also on June 18th at 7 p.m. at the museum, you got Beaver City Tours, Saskatchewan's first and only gold rush community. They're doing a historic presentation on the history of Beaver City. So it's two big things. And there's also in the works 2 artists that I've gotten in contact with will probably be doing a display.
And just a hats off to Jackson's been doing a great job on that Canada Day committee. He secured some grants. He's taken over the management of the finances and he's been doing a lot of good work there. So appreciate all of his hard work.
Good, chamber, meeting this Wednesday at UCM, 6 P.M. in the committee room, which is right by the cafeteria. If you go towards the cafeteria, you'll find the meeting room.
Yeah, and I read the report. That's what I was gonna talk to you about. There was an action in there for me, but I can't remember what it was now.
I'll get it back to you.
Yeah, call me, just message me,
I'll
so,
set it up here.
but I know it was the check on something, but.
Yeah.
No, the office lease,
Right, that was one, yeah.
yeah,
I think your name was attached to two, but the
Oh,
office
okay.
was one of them.
yeah, just let me know what I was supposed to do, I can't remember. CDC, the meeting's Thursday, destination marketing, Councilor Forster's not here, Cedar Lake, Deputy Mayor.
Vision Quest is on Wednesday and Thursday of this week in Winnipeg. It is, I've preached about it multiple times. Vision Quest is pardon me, Indigenous business trade show. There are presentations, there's cultural learning, there is a boatload of things that can be attended. And our AGM will be in July, and I will share that date later on.
Recycling board, so the center is getting geared up to reopen. Their staffing has been sort of, restaffed, sort of, up to, he's got 4 people right now, plus himself is 5. They're cleaning everything up and getting it re-established, and, I would expect to see, we have an actual recycling meeting, not the 8th, but the following Monday after that, I think it's like 15th or something, so we'll have a better update for that. KSD may, or library board, Councilor Office not here, KSD, nothing, youth counselor, yeah.
Once again, MBCI would like to congratulate the track team on receiving the Zone 11 banner, and they will be heading to provincials on June 11th to 14th. Next week, the French Immersion League Day will occur on June 9th for all French immersion students from kindergarten to grade 12. And provincial exams are currently in occurrence with the French ones beginning today.
Okay.
There is a triathlon sign-up that is currently open. And the MBCI grad committee is still looking for some parent volunteers for Safeguard Night. And the MBCI sports awards will occur on June 18th, 2026. And the MBCI grad ceremony will be June 24th, 2026. And after the Skills Canada national competition, MBCI would like to encourage more students to join the skills trades competition for next year.
Good, thank you.
Just add to that, I remiss, you talking about the track, meet on the weekend, granddaughter got second in javelin and 200, so we got on to the province.
Yeah, that's good, there's a lot of kids there, seen,
Perfect weather too.
yeah, it's beautiful, a little bit hot. It's not too
Well,
bad.
one thing you just reminded me actually, and you did as well, something that hasn't happened in the past 5 years, it should have been a recognition period, but ties to your report. Speaking of French immersion, they did the French Spectacular, which they haven't done since
Oh.
COVID time, which paid respect also to Mrs. Kelly, who had been
Mhm.
one of the most instrumental with French immersion in the
Yeah.
end, so. That was
I don't
quite
like
nice as
it.
well. I didn't understand everything they're saying, but it was a good event.
Yeah.
The last time they did it was when I was in grade 4.
Really?
Good. The only other report that I would have to add is the community cleanup meetings, 9 o'clock on Friday, and Canada Day is at 2 o'clock at DNW, 2 o'clock DNW on Thursday. Hope to see people out. If there's nothing else, jumping back down to. We've got,
The council wants to talk about the fire ban or something.
yeah, that's where I was getting to.
Okay, so.
Yeah, you have to take off, and our youth counselor has to leave, she's got major appointments. That's something more important to us. I know, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. Okay, fire ban situation, fire chief.
So Friday morning, we issued a fire ban for the entire town of the Paw. With the fire bans, the only thing that really affects is backyard fire pits. It's not like the RM where fire bans affect burn permits for brush fields, all that kind of stuff. The only thing we have burning is approved fire pits through our permitting system. That was through conjunction and after a conversation with Lawrence Huckluck from Manitoba Wildfire. When it comes to fire bans, I really rely on him. He's the subject matter expert when it comes to wildfire. So we always have conversations with him prior to implementing any type of fire ban during the summer months. Usually we wait for, look at the weather, and if it's gonna be 10 to 14 days of high temperature, low humidity, that's when we'll start issuing fire bans.
And good job on that tabletop. It was good engagement, and I know you guys put a lot of work into that, Byron, so thanks for that. It is a real eye opener. And it sort of actually creates other questions that I think we have well, I have anyways, is sort of where are the risks in town? Like, obviously that scenario that you developed is pretty, you know, it could happen, but maybe not the most likely thing to happen, but where do you see us right now are the biggest risks within the community?
We actually talked about that today, and our biggest risks would be behind the UCN area. In behind the land, or in behind the correction center, as well as the amount of fires at the landfill. Those are big three.
Are we seeing more fires at the landfill?
They're a little bit higher than when the year ended last year, and I think that's due to some, and Sam can talk about it more than I can.
Maybe you can grab sound mic and.
Oh, I thought that our numbers were lower.
While we're waiting for Sam, I just want to say, so we keep talking about the UCN area, and of course you had the fire there last week, that to me kind of sparked having a, no pun intended, but kind of sparked having a fire ban in place. That direction's coming from Lawrence Huckluck, which is not a structural or urban firefighter, but it seemed like it was a reaction. And I'm not going to speak for Councillor Allen, but I kind of had the same feeling that an urban setting is much different than a wildland setting. The fire was kind of pointed in the direction of an encampment. Therefore, it wasn't because something got out of control in the town of the Paw. It was other people doing things that they should normally never be doing anywhere. So we talked about that area, and we've been talking about it now for 2 years, ever since that mess was made back there. What has happened since then in terms of cleaning up that mess? Like, to help mitigate some of the issues, the mess that was made kind of, you know, oh yeah, we're gonna get funding, and then the funding never came, and now we have this worse scenario than what it was before. Like, it would have been better to be left alone than what it currently is, but yet we've taken no action in the past 2.5 months, really, that we could have been in there cleaning up, and nothing has happened.
Yeah, so we try to get somebody there a little sooner, however, with it being as wet as it was back there, sort of like the bog back there.
Isn't the wet the time you want to be there, or either when it's frozen or wet, so we're not causing issues ourselves?
Frozen would have been probably more preferable. I talked to one of the contractors we're speaking with, I'm sorry, I kind of jumped in the middle of the conversation. We're talking about between UCN and Snag,
Yes.
the white path. Okay, just want to make sure I understood. We will have the contractor there Wednesday to start chipping the trees, pulling them back. And to expedite the process, we've offered some manpower from Public Works, if that makes it better or not. We don't obviously want to get in their way, but yeah, so we're gonna make some headway this week, and hopefully I think he said it would take maybe a week or two to kind of get into a really good spot with the work in there, so we'll see some progress starting right away. I would be to be honest, when I heard about the fire behind UCN, I got a little bit nervous, so we do take it seriously, and we definitely hope to have some progress this week.
Like I said, it's kind of one of our, it's not on our list, but we've been talking about it since that mess was made almost 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And nothing been addressed, it only made it worse. And then like when I ride back there, it's all long dry grass, like there's been no maintenance whatsoever. That a simple fire is going to grow real quick, whereas before at least it was just the trees where it was gonna have to go up before it went anywhere.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's more concerning now, and almost every single person I pass on there is smoking. And I just cringe every time, and it's younger kids where I'm like, here it's gonna happen. So I would really like to see it cleaned up and even a buffer added, if that would have to be a budget item or not, but I'd like to see a buffer of more of a hard pack or a gravel or something, so it's not long grass tight to the walking path.
Yeah.
It is a well-traveled path,
That's not a bad idea to lay some gravel kind of between.
just a little bit of a buffer, because I said I watched one girl and I actually went back on my bike and made sure I put it out, but I watched her smoking and then she just threw it down on the walking path. Little wind, like you say, you get that humidity 15% or something, and they go into that grass, it's all the reeds and it burns real easy.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So
I did have a meeting today with the contractor from the mill regarding having somebody come in to thin out and remove deadfall from that entire area. So once we get prices on that, it'll be brought forward to you guys, so that you guys can see the pricing on that whole area.
You know, and it's almost like I was thinking about that area, that crown land there. That's not really our responsibility, so I would assume we're billing somebody for that, but
It's owned by the crown, that they pay property taxes for it. So
Oh,
it's
really?
town land
Oh,
that the
okay.
crown owns.
Oh, okay, that's good to
So
know.
we can't build.
The other thing is, I know that UCN's, there's been talk, I don't know if it's UCN, but there's been talk about developing that area, and I'm wondering if we could engage a forestry group to actually come and just harvest that whole area.
And that was brought up in our meeting today,
Mhm.
so he's gonna look into it a little bit more.
Good.
Yeah.
So right now today, like where do we see, you know, you've mentioned that, like what are we doing to sort of reduce the likelihood of something occurring?
Today, actually tonight, the guys are going around doing fire smart home assessments. So, we did look at maybe trying to do a back burn on that long grass along the walking path, and that was a hard no, because if it got away, it would get away in a really quick hurry. So, I talked with Mike about having the CSOs go through there more frequently to check on the encampments, make sure there's no fires being started by the encampments.
When you're talking about encampments, you're talking about places where guys are hanging out, right? It's not like they're just living in there.
The encampments. Send it.
Yeah, I'll say that.
That's what, anywhere between 20 to 25 encampments around now, not all active. That's about right now 5 that are active. Any active one will go in, we rip it down, we tear everything apart. And make sure that they don't come back, hopefully. We do, once a week, we do a patrol through the whole, I guess, route for the encampments. And just double check to make sure nobody's in there and not active. And that's in collaboration with the RCP too.
I just had one more,
Mhm.
more of a question, and I shouldn't really ask it because it gets into operations, but it is a little bit of a concern of mine, I guess. So we have a water tank in the back of what we call the RRU. How many gallons is in that water tank?
200.
200 gallons. How much does 200 gallons of water weigh?
8.8 pounds, 1,600 pounds.
And how much does the CAF system weigh?
That was about 1,000.
So you told us, you told this council that you couldn't use the CAF system because it was causing the truck to be overweighted. But you've added 1,000 pounds to the back of the truck, and yet the CAF system is more effective than water is. I'm still wondering why that $30,000 piece of equipment is taken out of action and perfect for wildland firefighting and could be even put in the back of the ATV, since what you defined as our firefighting or wildfire unit is gone north.
Our wildfire unit's back, it was up
It's back now, but
2 days.
in the meantime, like I said, we have a $30,000 piece of equipment that has basically been mothballed. That is more effective than 200 gallons of water. So I was just wondering where we get the idea that 1,000 pounds was too much of that truck, but 2,000 were perfectly fine. And not as effective. I was just wondering where that comes in.
So it wasn't just the 1,000 pounds in the back of the truck, there was an extra probably close to 1,000 with tools and everything back there as well, with the extrication tools and everything else. Right now, all we have in there is hose and the skid unit. So we have roughly maybe
The same weight,
1,700.
the same weight from your calculation on that.
And that fire in behind UCN, we took that unit down the walking path and had it knocked down with that skid unit in about 10 minutes. So it was an operational decision by myself. I still stand with it and I will always stand with it. So
So should we not sell that piece of equipment then if you and the previous chief decided it's of no use to us? It's $30,000.
Just remind me what truck.
It was the one that we got the government grant for, it's called a compressed air foam system.
Yeah, but what is it though? Like it's.
So it's basically a compressed system of water and foam to give your fire.
It's in the back of the truck.
It sits in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a skid unit,
Oh, okay.
aluminum, and so the tank, as you say, 200 gallons of water. With the CAF system, it equivalent to 1,250 gallons of water.
the CAF system runtime was 7 minutes. The skid unit runtime is about 29 minutes.
That's, if you crank it all the way, you don't have to crank it all the way up though.
Yeah.
It's based on use, right? Just a question, like I said, I feel like we have a lot of equipment laying around that isn't being used operationally, so we should be discarding it, selling it.
Yeah, and
You
it
know,
has.
it's been out of commission now for 3 years because
Just with the format and application to that, a little bit more effective using that rather than just straight water, because the water is gonna drain downward, you get the foam, it's gonna place and cover this, whether it'll stay there for a little while, just for.
So after you use the CAF system, the 7 minute runtime, you have to take the bottles out, refill the SCBA.
No, I'm talking about after it's just first song is that foam visible on the top of that.
I never used the CAF system, so I can't comment on that.
Me, I think would be more effective, but again, it's maybe something to try.
I find that comment kind of, I don't know, almost hurtful, saying I made an operational decision, but you said I've never seen it in operation. Saying I've never used the CAF system, but you're sticking to your decision without knowing what the CAF system's aware of, so I find that interesting, but anyway.
Anything else, for fire chief? So like I said, appreciate all the work that all your crew and yourself are doing right now. Hopefully we don't have people going out. We did miss the recognition to the guys going up to Norway House. Much appreciated. I mean, that's what we are all about in the north, is supporting each other, and thank you guys on behalf of council for doing that, Byron. That's very good. Any other questions? Seeing none, so moving along here. I don't even know where I am.
Maybe the.
Yeah, no, we're here yet.
Citizen.
Yeah, there's no citizens here on this. Canberra, you have something? You want to say?
concerned.
Okay.
Resolved that
Stay
we
with
now move ourselves into the committee of the whole with Mayor Murphy and the chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
Okay, so we did the first two already. Town barbecue, I support that. I mean, we've got,
I don't think it'll improve his cook cook's hamburger, but it might.
yeah, but I think we should have that anyways for our staff and for our community events and all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah, the barbecue we have is pretty tired, and it's kind of just paid itself, so.
And it's something that I think this council's even talked about for a few times, so I would just bring us a resolution in the next meeting. Graffiti assisted removal, I support that as well. I mean, it's really just putting together some package for community members. Great idea, good initiative, so it helps sort of bring that pride back to the community. So if there's no concerns with that, we'll bring that to the next committee or council meeting, as a resolution, which reminds me that we have to talk about our next council meeting. date. Which we didn't talk about, National Indigenous People Day, support that, I don't see any issues with that, anybody else got any concerns? It's great, it's a great event, I don't know if anybody's been to it before, but Frontier Center does a lot of good things, there's a lot of activity happening down here. This one, they used to have some markets down there, so it's really great. Pembina Valley Red Dress Project, so again, this public art project that's requested in line with, Cantera's walk there in August. I think there's, it's like 100 dresses or something, they're gonna set up along the walking path. Cantera's has one of them, so,
There for the day.
yeah, it's for there for the day, so that's great. So I don't think you need a resolution.
No, that's not it, but
Just for-
still has to know, they have to be aware of this.
Information.
Yeah. Tri-Community Pride Parade, which is something I did send to council, typically, or from what I remember, help me if I'm wrong. Don't we normally declare June as Pride Month
Proclamation.
or as a proclamation and then?
Yes, when I
we-
saw your email, I had to check, because since I started, I've not like seen anything like that.
Oh, I thought
But
we did.
2021, I saw a resolution.
Yeah.
That said June should be declared, I saw that this afternoon.
So can we, do you guys have any problems with us declaring? We can just make a
Yes, yes,
declaration. Yeah, so do we want to put something together? Yeah, you're good?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wanna put a declaration of that, and then also, I know we did fly the pride flag too for the month. So if we
We
wanna
can
get
ask
that
Williams
off,
to put it back up, yeah, not a problem.
it's good. Okay, I don't think there's anything else, there's no personnel issues, and I guess for our community members, a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, so appreciate everybody. Before we get out there, we do have to decide, normally our budget for our, council meeting would be June 8th again, because we remember we moved it by 1 month, 1 day, because we thought we were going to Winnipeg, but they canceled on us. I'm suggesting we just move it to the end, like, I don't think there's anything going on next week. If we have to do something, I'll just call a special meeting if something comes up, if there's something happening. But I don't know, is you guys okay with that?
Next
So-
regular schedule be the 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd, the next regular schedule will be the 22nd.
If something comes up.
Yeah, so what we'll need to do though is we'll need a resolution for that roll off. So just for everybody, that's aware that are watching, our next council meeting be June the 22nd. But as always, council can call a meeting anytime if they need to meet for any reason.
We do that, we'll move back to the regular meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll need you to prepare one of those, Bill.
101.
So then. It'll be resolved that. June 8th. 2026. Regular. Council. Meeting. Be moved. Or be canceled. And be canceled, that's it. All in favor?
We all-
Oh, sorry, yes, so let's move back over real quick.
You wanna do that, we're gonna need calendar.
No, because it's still be live, so people can see it, yeah, so we'll do it first and then we'll do it, because we won't come back.
Okay, so we now move ourselves out of committee as a whole back into the regular meeting of council.
Yeah, so, resolution, 101, moved by Councillor Hopper, second by Councillor or Deputy Mayor Atkinson. Resolve that the June 8th regular council meeting be canceled.
Be scheduled.
It doesn't need to be rescheduled because we're not doing the regular meeting. Yeah.
Regular.
So all in favor? Opposed, seeing none, carried. Okay, now we can move into camera. So thanks to everybody for listening in tonight. Appreciate all the hard work many of our citizens are doing out there for us to make our community better.
This is gonna read odd because we moved back into the regular meeting, so now
Just move into camera.
okay. But once we get to a part, it's gonna be weird. Resolve that we now move ourselves into the in-camera portion of the committee as a whole
That's
with
okay.
Mayor Murphy and the chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
Just read the last part.
Just scribble it out.
So, yeah, so we all know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks a lot, everybody, appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. There will be no decisions coming out of the committee as a whole, or